26,000 assaults occurred between the years of 2011 and 2013. Of those, approximately 74% occurred in the healthcare and social settings, according to Iroku, Malaise, and Grissom in 2018. In 2019, according to the Department of Labor, approximately 5.5 work-related injuries occurred for every 100 full-time employees. Good morning. My name is Kayla Kraushorn, RN on the psychiatric unit, and this morning I will be giving a presentation on strategies to de-escalate and distract to minimize the use of physical and chemical restraints in patients with exacerbations of mental health conditions. According to Tucker et al. 2020, they found two themes that were effective in the management of the exacerbation of agitated mental health people in the psychiatric unit: the recognition of agitation and management of agitation. These were used in the study and identified, and the recognition of agitation was not only the responsibility of the nurse, but also the patient as well. And it was a group effort to reduce the agitation in these patients. The management of agitation that was identified in this study was a combination of the nurses' experiences, policies, procedures, training, and different techniques that they had learned along the way that was helpful in the management of the agitation of the patient. One thing that was identified in this study that was very interesting was something they identified as coping and safety plan. And this was actually a questionnaire that was given to the patient upon arrival to the unit, and the patient was then able to identify things that they were aware that agitated them and some coping strategies that they had used to help calm them down in those types of situations. And I think this could be very useful for us in our unit. So this is something that I would also like to implement for us. Another thing that was agitating patients was very restrictive rules in psychiatric units. According to Price et al. 2017, the patients identified things such as turning off the TV at a specific time or telling the patient what time to go to bed was extremely agitating to them, and they were not able to effectively deal with the distraction and de-escalation techniques that the nurses were using. And I think something that was learned here was just being able to use your own discretion to loosen these rules to mitigate agitation of the patient. A third technique that we can use is distracting and sensory tools. So something such as music, a widget spinner, or a stuffed animal can be used. And that was according to a study, Robbins in 2019, that were found to be effective in these patients. Some implementation of a timeline guidelines that I have here is to have this confirmed and approved by the training council, and then within 3 months would like to do an in-service training with hands-on scenarios, and each person would need to successfully complete the hands-on scenario and be comfortable with the information presented on how to de-escalate and distract an agitated person. This would then be evaluated by a small team made up of nurses, techs, psychologists, and psychiatrists. They would be able to evaluate the scenario and give feedback, which would then be presented each quarter on the unit. A suggestion box would also be used for anyone that would like to make a suggestion or things that have worked in a previous job or training or even a study that they've read on their own. So it's really going to be not an overnight success. It's going to be an evolving door with a lot of different, trial and error to make this process easier for everyone, to include the patient as well, to combat the agitation in these patients. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, if not, thank you very much.